In today's video, I'm going to share my top picks from yesterday's VR game showcase, starting with fast travel games Payday Aces High. This is a fully narrative-driven revenge story told entirely through active heist briefings versus using cutscenes, and each mission has 3 distinct phases. You'll pre-plan with your team around a safe house table, do some reconnaissance to scout for what security is in place, such as camera locations, and then execute the mission. You can attempt to do the whole mission in stealth, but if someone on your team makes a mistake, then suddenly the gameplay will flip and become an intense first-person shooter. Plus, each mission has some heavy randomization from the vault locations, codes, and enemy spawn tactics change every single time you play. Regarding gunplay and physics, which is something most VR first-person shooter players are interested in, the developers are promising smooth weapon handling and each weapon having unique haptics and physical impact force. For example, using a heavy shotgun, this will cause a knockback effect. Fast travel games are also taking on the challenge of making full-body IK. As you complete each heist, which has 5 levels of difficulty, you'll earn cash and reputation to buy weapon attachments, tactical skills, and classic cosmetic masks. It's launching later this year on Meta Quest 3, Steam VR, and Steam Frame, with extra free DLC already in the works, and beta signups are live right now on the Fast Travel Games website. Hotdogs, Horseshoes, and Handgrenades 2 stole the show for me when it comes to physical VR weapons and interactions. The sequel is aiming to be much more than just a sandbox experience like the first game. Game director Anton Hand confirmed the sequel is completely evolving into a full-blown tactical extraction roguelike. You play a 6-foot-tall sentient hot dog diving into a massive procedurally generated sci-fi megastructure to shoot, loot, and extract back to your base. The team at Russell Limited have spent over 2 years building this sequel to push physics, and unlike the first game, they have introduced physical hands with dynamic finger posing. They've also completely overhauled the ballistic simulation, cartridge physics, and gun fu mechanics, meaning inserting and ejecting magazines now feels entirely tactile, immersive, and satisfying. They also got more teasers coming soon, including highly advanced inventory management, full melee combat, and a brand new physical damage system. And it's coming to PCVR and Meta Quest headsets, and I would expect an optimized version to be coming to Steam Frame, but there is no current indications of a release date, but I do expect it to come before the end of 2026. For the viewers who are into flight sims, we got another look at Korea IL-2 series. This simulator is all about jumping into the 1950s jet age, using their next-gen digital nature engine. You'll be dogfighting in iconic planes like the F-86 Sabre and the MiG-15. Every single instrument in the cockpit is fully functional, and for the first time, they're adding full controller support alongside joysticks to make flying in VR way more accessible. The scale of this game looks pretty crazy, featuring a historically accurate 200,000 square kilometers of the Korean peninsula. Plus, there's a deep career mode, where you act as an air regiment commander, managing logistics and squad routes before jumping into the cockpit with highly complex physics-based damage models. The full PCVR launch is locked in for August 4th, but if you pre-order on their website, you'll get early access, and that kicks off tomorrow, starting June 25th. EXOSHOCK teased multiplayer for the first time, and for clarity, I am working with the team to make EXOSHOCK the best it can be, and I should be testing the multiplayer mode very soon. If all goes well, this will be releasing later this month, and if you haven't already, consider buying the Founders Edition right now using the link in the description. This gives you access to PCVR or Quest and bags you EXOSHOCK at the cheapest price it will ever be, and this will give you access to all future updates and eventually the full release. FlatOut Studios dropped a massive roadmap update for FlatOut VR Total Insanity. The headline feature here is wheel support. Working directly with the players on the Discord, the team has managed to optimize and confirm compatibility for hundreds of unique steering wheel setups. They've also added custom soundtrack support, multiplayer voice chat, and they are actively testing AI opponents for multiplayer alongside first-person windshield ejections. But the biggest news from yesterday's show is that development for PlayStation VR 2 is now actively underway, and the store page is now live if you want to wishlist it. FlatOut for me is one of the best VR games I've played this year, and if you haven't seen my review, I'll leave a link to it in this video's description. While we're speaking of VR races, V-Racer Hoverbike is a truly fantastic game, especially if you're looking for that classic Wipeout or F-Zero high-speed sci-fi racing in VR, and they dropped a lot of new updates and content. They've now added engine classes and multiplayer engine parity, meaning you can finally choose whatever aesthetic bike design you want while still keeping a completely level playing field in competitive matches. The more recent community track editor now has 300 player-made maps, and another update dropped during the showcase, featuring a brand new unlockable bike called the Mac Plus. Everything is live right now for Meta Quest, PSVR 2 and Steam VR, and again, this is a game I highly recommend. Triangle Factory dropped a massive surprise with the reveal of Breach's Outbreak. Instead of a 5v5 bomb defusal game, Outbreak introduces a new intense co-op PvE survival game. You and your squad will take on aggressive waves of monsters, and Triangle Factory are bringing the tactile gunplay and door breaching mechanics from Breaches and gadget toolkits, but now you'll be applying them to be offensively and defensively taking on a relentless swarm. The devs also announced full VR and flat screen crossplay, which is something we're going to be seeing a lot more in the VR space. I originally thought this was paid DLC for Breaches, but it actually is a standalone title coming later this year for Meta Quest, Steam VR and Pico, and wishlists are available right now. Next up, FlatOut Studios, which appear to be very busy in this showcase, also revealed I Am Your Beast VR, helping bring developer Strange Scaffold's lightning-fast, ultra-violent revenge thriller into full virtual reality. You play a retired secret agent waging a brutal guerrilla war against a shadow military agency across the North American wilderness. This has now been completely rebuilt from the ground up for VR, and the focus here is pure physical flow. You'll be climbing trees, setting bear traps, throwing empty weapons directly at the guards, and catching their drop guns mid-air to fluidly take down the next target. The gameplay is split into 20 plus replayable micro sandbox levels built for chasing side objectives and shaving seconds off your speedrun times. It's launching in early access on Steam VR later this year, featuring a fully voiced story campaign and an awesome soundtrack by award-winning composer RJ Lake, and it's available to wishlist right now. Xiaomi Games, the developers behind Sweet Surrender, have a new VR game coming called Drifters Blackout Crew. This is a dedicated 4-player cooperative extraction shooter that drops your crew directly into dangerous abandoned alien ruins. The main gameplay loop is simple but intense. Slide into the zone, raid the structures for highly valuable lost technology, outgun relentless AI forces, and successfully extract before you lose it all. Every piece of alien tech and scrap salvage you pull out of a successful run is then used to physically rebuild and heavily upgrade your squad's mothership base. And here you can unlock better gear, new weapon tiers, and tactical tools for harder expeditions. There's currently no release date, but the devs have confirmed it is being built natively for Meta Quest and PCVR platforms, and the store pages are already live. And finally, Virtual Age Games dropped a new trailer for one of my most anticipated VR games, Guardians Planetfall, or as I like to think of it, Helldivers for VR. Planetfall is a new 4-player co-op extraction shooter, seeing you and your squad play as elite shock troops. You'll be picking drop zones from a customizable capital ship to fight massive alien bug swarms and mechanical armies. Levels are procedurally generated with dynamic weather, with multiple environments, and when your boots on the ground, you'll be able to call down ship-deployed fire support stratagems. The game looks to have some really cool manual reloaded weapons. You'll be using jetpacks and fighting to extract with rare blueprints to upgrade your gear. Also to note, individual player extractions actively feed into a living community-wide galactic war to liberate star sectors. Plus, they're bringing over the much-loved in-game VR map editor so the community can sculpt custom terrain and build their own full missions. It's launching in early access later this year on Meta Quest and Steam VR, and closed beta sign-ups are live on their Discord right now.